Java 2, Project 1. A little late, but anyway, just wanted to kind of go over the questions that are required and talk about any of the things that I had trouble with. So, first off, how did my project go? I think it took me longer than I expected. I thought the JSON file would have been easier to parse, and I think I was in the right direction, but found out later from the teacher that I was missing an array list, so it wasn't saving anything, so that kind of held me up. I also had a little bit of issues getting the service in there, but all in all, I'm happy because the project is working, and even though it's basic and isn't too flashy, at least it's pulling the data and displaying it, which is exciting because anytime I ever do anything and I don't see results, it kind of shuts me down. So I'm glad that something is actually running. So how do you feel about services versus async tasks? I think, if I remember right, an async task, it was pretty easy to follow, at least the videos, so I didn't really have too much problems there. The services took a little bit longer for me to do, only for the reasons that I was not coming from Java 1. Well, I was, but it was like 6 months ago. So I don't remember a whole lot about the async task, except that the async task seems to run as soon as you hit that search button, as opposed to it running in the background, where it's constantly updating itself. So the service is cool because it runs on its own thread, so it's not affecting the UI of the app, so you can kind of keep things running in the background and you don't have to just do it on demand like the async task would. So I think services has benefits, and I think as things go on, we'll do a little bit better, and I'll learn a little bit more about when to use the services versus the async task. But again, I think with this app, an async task works fine, but I think the service to run on the main thread itself and to download the information in the background is probably a benefit, in case you're still wanting to do things on your UI. How does the lessons from the week affect your outlook on Java? I'm still struggling. I think Java is very difficult. And I think the reason why is when you do all the try, the catches, and all the exceptions and stuff, I'm not 100% sure what they are doing. Obviously, they're throwing errors or catching the errors that are being thrown. It's almost like an if-else statement, I think. But there's just a lot of little things that you need to put in the code that you just wouldn't know unless you had to look it up. So it's not like you could just, insert, and I guess it's kind of like iOS. You insert a table and you got to know that there's certain methods that need to be ran and certain code, but unless you know exactly what's supposed to be there, I mean, there's no way to, as a new developer, there's no way to know. So you just have to look it up and then know what you need to put in there, and that's kind of difficult, and then it's a little tough to understand sometimes. What would you do differently? I can't say I would do anything different. I just need a lot of time, a lot of questions answered, and just keep pushing through it. And then list a few things that could use more clarification. Again, I think some of the videos, if you're just coming into Java 2 with a blank slate, it's difficult to catch up. So to try to find, maybe some prerequisite videos from the previous class, if you're somebody that's coming back into this, it may help you get back up to par, because I think back when I took Java 1 about 6 months ago, it was a little bit different. So it's kind of tough. But anyway, I can show my app. It's called Weather Pool, if I can find it here. And all I'm doing is taking a zip code, which I don't even know. Let's just take a stab at one just for fun first. So obviously this isn't a valid zip code. If I pull a zip code, 90210, I think. There we go. So there's Beverly Hills. What it does is it goes out and it reaches to the weather API, which is Weather on Ground, And I should be able to show the JSON being parsed somewhere. Wow, I think this has like a few. There it is. So this is it pulling the 90210 JSON, pulling from this API, which is my URL, and it's pulling the data and passing that zip code into the service, and the service is retrieving or whatever, running in the background, grabbing the information and then storing it, and then the app actually pulls it out of storage and grabs it. And I believe, whoops, I hit a button. I guess it would help if you could see what's going on my phone as well. Hitting too many buttons, getting excited here. Ooh, that's big. So, search Beverly Hills, and if I rotate it, it doesn't stick. So that's something I think is in the next class to save the information. Obviously, you can just hit search again, but that's not really useful. So that's something that I need to implement. But anyway, overall, I've got 4 files here. The main activity has the on click, and then has the handler, which is here, and then the messenger, which takes the user input, which is the 45103, or sorry, the zip code. And then this is me parsing the JSON object to get the current weather for that, and then I'm just appending it to a text view. Weather service, pretty straightforward. It's got the API in here. This is where it's this is grabbing the user input that's being passed. Let's see. And then this is just the JSON response to make sure it's valid. And then the just showing that the data service is complete down here with the message. Web connection, let's just check web connection, data storage. This is where we're storing the file. I'm actually storing it to an external. It may have been an internal thing that we were supposed to do. It's not an internal, but it's an internal file. So anyway, I'm rambling. So this is my app, and it's working. So I'm going to let it go. Obviously, it's a day late, but I'm happy with the fact that there's some results. So talk to you later. Hope I did okay.